Every Thursday, Cliff, I start to think about what are Cliff and I going to talk about on Friday. And I always think, during the course of the week that, well, there's no way we're going to have something like Mitt Romney each week. There's no way he can top himself from the week before. There's just no way, because there's other things I want to talk to Cliff about. I want to talk about the tax vote that we saw in the Senate and that we're going to see in the House, which is completely unexpected. I want to talk to Cliff about that Chick-fil-A now that, some of these mayors are going a little...
Getting bigger and bigger. See, I brought you in on that one, Sammy.
I
told you it was going big.
I mean, I know. I wanted to talk about this story. Harold Meyerson had an op-ed piece suggesting what the reaction should be if this this conscious voter disenfranchisement in Pennsylvania works. And then, Mitt Romney just proves week after week that he is the worst presidential candidate, certainly in my lifetime. I mean, I don't know history well enough, but I mean, has there ever been a worse presidential candidate than Mitt Romney?
I think Millard Fillmore had some serious issues. It's a fantastic question. I'm trying to think of all the people who've gotten the nominations. I don't think. I mean, I wasn't alive. Well, I was alive, but by about 6 months. And you were a young Todd. I don't think George McGovern was a particularly good presidential candidate, but I don't remember.
He wasn't a great candidate, but he was not.
That whole breaking into the DNC headquarters probably helped Nixon out somewhat too.
I mean, McGovern wasn't a great candidate, and of course he had that problem with Eagleton, I guess it was.
But the whole psychotherapy, from history that I've read, Adlai Stevenson wasn't. But seriously, what I'm trying to do here is reach back to like the worst I can find. I think John Kerry was certainly not a good one, but no, Mitt Romney. I think you honestly have to argue at this point because, again, you kind of summed it all up there at the beginning. We don't have to look for ways to make fun of him every week. I mean, I want this to be a fun segment. Things come up like the shooting last week, which, I don't feel like is much in a fun kind of mood. But Romney, it would be malpractice as people that analyze politics and, at least in your case, are a comedian, and in my case, I try to be one and fail most of the time, to not look at Mitt Romney. Because the combination of the comedy and the political just idiocy, for lack of a better word, it's amazing.
And first off, I actually think that you're generally funnier, at least on Fridays. I try and save my comedy for earlier in the week, so I've let you do the heavy lifting on Fridays. Let me just read off a couple of the headlines from Britain. Mitt the Twit, says the Sun tabloid. Romney's a wannabe president. The Independent, Romney shambles. The Daily,
which became like a trending thing on Twitter. Romney shambles.
Daily Mail, Romney devoid of charm, offensive, and a wazcock. A wazzock. I don't even know what that means.
So I don't know what a wazzock means. It was going to be a charm offensive, and instead he's been not charming and offensive.
They referred to him as just daft. I mean, there's a list, I think, on America Blog of 23 newspapers from Britain, and they all just basically says, who asked you to come? Get out of here. You've got...
and that's the thing that's so beautiful. As someone, first of all, who lived over in England, I studied abroad there, I can so appreciate all of this because I know... if you ever see kind of, I brought this up to you, I think, the other day when you and I were doing Ring of Fire, but I think if you ever seen movies like Love Actually and the ones that those guys make that always kind of, Notting Hill, where they always kind of mock America a little bit, and they give you an idea of the British stereotype of sort of the arrogant, aloof, kind of obnoxious American. It's always like a Mitt Romney type character. And he's gone over there and just, it's like a gift to them. He's fulfilled what, their image of what we are all like. It's sad for us because I hope we're not all like that. But, he is that. and he's gone over there and fulfilled it for them. Meanwhile, on our side of the pond, the most hysterical part of this whole thing is that it's kind of like he came forward with Bane as the reason why you should vote for him, and then that's been ripped to shreds. The other one was this: he saved the Olympics, and he's a statesman and the whole thing, and that's what he was going over there to show, that I may not have foreign policy experience, but I ran the Olympics, and that's an international thing, and you need to be a diplomat and pull people together and make things work and all this sort of stuff. And the first thing he does is he gets off the airplane and insults their Olympics. He makes his little Anglo-Saxon comments, and from there he's already spouting and telling people that he's met with MI6, which would be like, you had a private meeting with the CIA and you come out and you tell people.
Well, and plus, it's even worse, because apparently in Britain they didn't acknowledge the existence of MI6 till a decade or two ago.
94.
Right?
I studied abroad in England in 92, 93, and they were still not admitting that MI6 existed.
And this is after all of those damn James Bond movies, when we saw all about it.
You know what he's going to do, Sam? He's totally going to go over to Israel and start talking to them about their nuclear program.
Right. Yeah, you guys, Israel's got some
the
great...
big thing that a country doesn't acknowledge is they have no acknowledgement that they've got nukes. You totally know he's going to do that.
Before we get off of Britain, because, there is actually, not only is this a failure from a political standpoint, one of the most important things that you need to be able to do as president when it comes to foreign relations is to exactly not do this type of thing. To speak in a very deliberate way.
And so respectful.
Respectful. I mean, whatever. I mean, there are times where you're not going to be respectful, but you need to be deliberate. He clearly had an agenda, and none of it included getting publicly ridiculed in front of 60,000 people by the mayor of London. That was definitely not on his agenda. It was not to have the Prime Minister of England say,
the conservative
Prime Minister of England say, well, it's one thing, it's one thing to have an Olympics in the middle of the one of the most prominent, one of the most prominent cities in the world, as opposed to holding it in Nowheresville, where you have a regional airport or whatever he wanted to say.
And I thought at first when I read it that it had been a written statement. That was an actual out loud statement he made to the media and the entire world.
Absolutely. I mean, so this clearly was not on Mitt Romney's agenda. He didn't huddle with his people on the airplane as they're flying over there and go, remember, you want to say something that will get you mocked by every single paper, by both the leader of the country and the mayor of the city. And so it just goes to show that his arrogance is so great that whether he is crapping on somebody who brought him, some cookies.
They look like 7-Eleven, or he's making fun of the guys at NASCAR and saying, "Wow, you're really spraying for the big bucks on those ponchos."
He has the same attitude. He has the same attitude towards everything. I mean, this guy is so convinced that he was, Jesus coming down from the mountain, or whatever it is that John Smith heading down to the Mayans, or whatever it is that he believes, that he thinks that he's this type of guy, and he needs to remind everybody of it. Like, there's no way Britain can do what I did, which is I saved the Olympics on my shoulders.
That's it. It's this deep-seated insecurity where he has to always remind you what a man he is and how accomplished he is. And again, it's daddy issues. McCain had them. Bush had them. The Republicans only seem to nominate people that never feel like they can live up to their daddies. And it's just amazing, because to whatever you and I think of how Mitt made his money, whatever, but to have accomplished what he's accomplished overall and feel the need to go and sit down in England and basically, and that's where that was coming from. He was trying to sound like the big, savior hero of Salt Lake City and reminding them that, well, I made it work well. So I'm not sure if yours is going to work as well as mine did. Who needs to do that? Who doesn't have serious small penis issues? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable.